Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Hey,
Yes.
Demetrius. Okay, good. Demetrius, can you tell me more about you? And I don't think we've spoken yet, so I wanted to know why you joined this class. Mary, welcome, welcome. Hi, Sanjay.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? How is the work?
I'm good. I'm good.
I saw that 6 of you have come in with your assignments, which is great. The rest of you that are on and that are watching this video, please turn in your assignments as soon as possible. We have, oh good, so we switched over to Zoom, hoping that more people would be able to join and that would be an easier platform for everybody to negotiate. If you have any trouble with the Zoom platform, of course, email me so that we can take care of that. Does anyone have, those of you who are on the phone call, does anyone have any questions for me right now? And I'm just getting used to Zoom, so bear with me. So when I share my screen and things like that, there might be some hiccups with the technical aspects of things. So we are great. Okay, so we have much better turnout on Zoom, so that's excellent. I'm happy to see everyone. Welcome to your Friday morning. Welcome to the weekend. First, if anyone has any things that are pressing, anything that is going on with you in terms of COVID or anything like that with the pandemic, feel free to message me, feel free to email me. Those of you who have joined our class relatively late, so those of you who are coming into the class a little bit late in our, so some of you have joined yesterday. Just make sure that you get, welcome, hi Carol. Sanjay, welcome. If you haven't done the assignment, just make sure you get it done as soon as possible. So over the weekend, if you could take some time to do the first assignment before we start layering and adding more assignments, that would be great. Does anyone, those of you who are new to the call and who I haven't heard from yet, do you want to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about why you're taking the class? Feel free to turn on your mics. Hopefully I don't have to do that from my end. Carol, do you want to tell us a little bit about you and about taking art history and why you're taking it? All right, and if we're figuring out we'll come back to it if we're figuring out the logistics of it. But I certainly want to hear from you. Can you hear me, Carol? Let's see. And those of you who have people in the background that are speaking, just feel free to mute if you can. If you are having a hard time with the platform, feel free to chat with me on the side. All right, so we will start moving this morning. We have a few things that we are going to do. We are going to take care of the next assignment, which is called I Am From, all right? I want you to get a pen and paper ready. Yep, Carol, can you hear me? Or I can't hear you and I can't, hold on. Can you somehow chat with me on the side, Carol? Because I see that your video is on, but I don't see your audio. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. Everybody hear me? You can't hear. Okay.
Yes, I heard you.
Okay, so those of you, okay, good, good, good. Joseph, is that you? Who's Jay Noble? Can you introduce yourself?
Hi. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? It's Jamar. You can call me Jay.
Jamar. Hey, Jamar. Okay, good to hear you and good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
How's everything going?
Good. Everything's going well. I just had some connectivity issues with the meetings, but I'm glad we're on Zoom.
But have you been able to access and see the videos?
I don't think so.
The first 3 or 4 videos that I emailed about the start of the class with the slideshow and things like that.
Let me go check.
And if you haven't, Jamar, I will send you the links to that again to make sure, okay? So you should have had at least 4 videos from me at this point from each of the classes and from the first couple of videos before we started the class. So make sure you have seen those. I'm sorry, Carol, that if there's trouble, hopefully you can hear me. So we are taking a slightly different approach to art history, as you have maybe noticed. We are taking the perspective that art history is created by human beings and it's for human beings, okay? And it means that we, as human beings, have been creating art for the last 40,000 years. And it's sort of in our blood, it's sort of in our DNA to be creative, to find creative solutions, which is really important for a time like now, where there is stress involved. So when there are issues, right? When there are things that come up that are unexpected or that are unprecedented, right? This word that life has never been like this before, ever. Well, maybe in the last 200 years. The machines have never stopped, right? And this kind of pause in production, the pause in work, is both obviously very taxing on the economy, but at the same time, it has potential to really change things. And that's the hope and that's the goal, right? And we as creative people are the ones to start those changes, okay? So it's time to reconsider what you're doing, how you're working, who you're doing the work for, and maybe think about different ways to express yourself, different ways to go about your day. Okay, so maybe that means reconsidering if you are how you start your day, right? Do you have time in the morning? Do you take time for yourself? Do you take breaks, right? When we keep working for somebody, right? There's always, in the United States, there's always a middle person that gets a part of your salary, right? And that's not okay. That has never been okay. But it's how the system works. The system will have to change as time goes on. With that in mind, we're going to think about today 3 words. So if you could possibly, and if you have time, take a pen and a paper, and we're going to do the assignment I'm from. And if you can just hear me, give me a thumbs up or a chat that says that you're with me. So if you can just say if you're here. Okay, good. So you're gonna take 7 minutes. I'm gonna time 7 minutes, and I'm gonna give you 3 words. You start with those 3 words, and then you write everything that comes to mind after those 3 words. All right? So grab a paper, grab a pencil, and just let me know when you have a paper and pencil. Hi, Stella. So if you can type in the chat box, or if you can unmute and say, you know, I have pencil.
Ready?
I have one.
Okay, awesome.
I have one.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate the responses. All right. The 3 words are, and we're going to start the time at 9:40, and we're going to write for 7 minutes. Now you are dumping everything that's in your brain after those 3 words. Okay, so anything that comes, don't edit it. It can be a list. It doesn't have to be in proper grammar. It doesn't have to be proper English. After those 3 words, write down everything that you can think of in relation to those 3 words. Okay? And the 3 words are, I am from. And don't edit anything that comes. I'll let you know when you're halfway through the writing. So I am from. You're just writing for the next 7 minutes. You're about halfway through the writing. You have another minute or two to just finish up the final sentences of whatever is in your head. Again, don't edit. Don't think about it too much. Any words that come after I am from, okay? All right, just finish up your last sentence. And when you are ready, when you are done with the writing that you have done over the last 7 minutes, it should take is 7 minutes. Go ahead and photograph the writing, and I'm going to have the assignment posted by the end of today for I Am From, and you just drop that assignment right from your phone from those 7 minutes today. Okay, don't edit it, don't revise it, just as it is, as you wrote it. Okay, so that assignment is taken care of. Would anyone like to share their I Am From? Because they are the most poetic writing from the students that I often have received.
Yes, I would like to start, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you want to read to us I Am From?
yeah.
I'd love to hear it.
Okay. I'm from Africa, precisely Nigeria. A very rich origin, a land where the sun is like a second skin. It never sets nor rises. I'm a black and I'm proud of my color. I'm from the great Africa, where our extreme high self-esteem is mistakenly taken as a pride by foreigner. I'm from a beautiful lineage where prestige is the water we drink. We delight and value our tradition and culture of discipline and respect. I'm from a gloomy plant of savannah land of Nigeria, the intensive beauty of nature in a green pasture where cultural norms were passed down from one generation to another. I'm from Ondo, Nigeria, where native pounded yam and vegetable soup with assorted meat were a delicious meal. From the history I heard, my mother is a good cook till today. So I was the clan we are free by mother's kitchen. I'm from Nigeria, western parts of Nigeria, where goats are for merriment, cocoa for revenue, and culture are protected, even the language we speak at any given opportunity. The unique symbolic mystery of my home, Nigeria. Done?
Beautiful. Yes, amazing. So whenever I do this assignment with students, you really come up with the most incredible poetry. What's really incredible about these writings is whether you list, I am from this particular town, this particular country, this particular planet in the solar system. If you even list those things, it's so remarkable to hear the connections that people have in the writing. Oftentimes in our culture, we meet each other in a very superficial way, right? We go to the cafe and we order our when it's not quarantine, we order our drinks, our coffees, and we say thank you, we give them money, and we have that kind of exchange, right? And most of our exchanges are made up of these interactions. Especially now, it's so important to go a little deeper, dig a little deeper about what makes us human, right? And how we connect. I mean, that beautiful, it really is something. Mary, post it. I don't know if you post it on social media, or I would take that writing and I would really think about where to put it and where to publish it, because it speaks from the heart. It is so beautifully done and beautifully written, right? You can tell how much you honor the place that you come from, the nature that you come from. Whenever I think about where I come from, I think about the land, right? I was born in the valley, in the mountains of Czech Republic, and I always I have that vision. I mean, I have that landscape painted in my head, in my brain. And it makes me who I am. I mean, I'm part of that land. We all are, right? We're the carbon from the soil. And so it's so fascinating. And we all have that kind of deep-rooted sort of love for this home that we think that we're from, right? We're all on this one small little rock in the middle of a huge universe. Anyone else want to share their I Am From? I would encourage all of you, if you're on the phone call, to be brave enough and just read it. Just read it straight out forward. There's no judgment. There's nothing. So if you could, Grace, would you like to share yours?
Hello.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Grace Adeyemo. I'm a black African American from Nigeria, West Africa.
Mm.
I'm a Yoruba from Oyo State.
Mm.
And is my state, I can say, is the largest in West Africa,
Mm.
the largest city in West Africa.
Mm.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. My state has virtually everything that a big city can contain, and is being recognized all over, even in the world. So our main food is yam flour with bean soup. We call it begiri. And we have our cultural and tradition in my state. We do recognize hardworking people, and we work hard to enhance whatever we want to have to live on and to give to others. So we have higher school learning from the nursery session to the tertiary sessions, and we make sure all our citizens take education very important. We have some other socio-cultural advantages also. Many people all over the world came down to make businesses, to transact businesses in my state. So for now, that is what I can say.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing. Isn't it funny that we always look to and we remember the food. Remember the food from a particular place. That the food it has in memory. I don't know about you, but I can smell my grandmother used to cook. You know, you can smell it, and if you smell it on the air, or if you even if someone's cooking a similar plate and you smell that memory brings you right back to where you came from. Is there anyone else who would like to read their I am from? Alberto, anyone? Demand? Stella? Karine? Jamar? Sanjay? Stella, you want to go for it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. So I am from Haiti. I am from a descendant of Jamaica, Cuba, and Colombia. I am from a place that had to fight for their freedom and independence and became the first country in the island to have their independence. I am from a world big and green. I am from a diverse neighborhood. I am from Dorchester. I am from a place where dreams are limited. I am from a place that's still fighting to live from racism and justice. I am from a place where you can't show weakness. I am from a place where you always have to be strong. I am from a country that loves to eat rice, beans, mangoes, and all the good fruits in the world.
Lovely. Oh, it's amazing. It's so important to hear, right, about and these writings. I mean, it's 7 minutes of writing, but the depth that you go to what you think you are is fantastic. It really is. It really has to be something that is published, and you should be somehow broadcast the writing, like just put it on Instagram or whatever media, or just send it to your family and friends, right? It touches on a deeper connection than just the superficial interactions like we talked about earlier. In capitalism, there's not a lot of room for a deeper way to connect, right? But these writings that you write about struggle, about needing to feel strong all the time, about not being able to show vulnerability, those are all human qualities that are so important and so interesting to tap into, that I would, just share that writing. Anyone else? Come on, Pete. Be brave.
I guess I'll go.
Be brave. Be brave. Come on, let's hear it. And it's also a great way to get to know one another, you know, it's so good. Yeah.
My name is Sanjay. I wrote, I am from Boston, born and raised. I am from my mother and father, a child of God, a lover of life. I am from joy, happiness, love, nature. I am from the sun, beautiful chocolate melanated skin. I am from my ancestors, those who have paved the way for me to have the freedom I have today. I am from life, lift every voice and sing. I am from a world full of violence and injustice, worrying about the color of my skin. Why do police fear the Black man? Why should I have to think about what I say and how I should react when someone offends me? I am light, love, and beauty. That's it.
Do you understand how poetic those things are? Do you know the poetry that you're speaking? It's so good. It's so important. It's so essential. It's so relevant. I mean, if you were just to do that in your day, if you were just to put down what your thoughts are, who you are, that's art. And that also is the thing that communicates to other people so strongly, right? It's so beautiful. The way you connect to nature, the way that you speak about the sun, the way that you speak about the beauty of the skin, it's powerful. And that's the stuff that people need to hear. Yeah, and it's devastating about the injustice that the US has faced over time, the US is still facing, and it's wrong. It's the wrong foundation, right? And part of that foundation is collapsing. So there's potential, but your voices need to be out there. I need them to be out there. So in fact, I think I want to share some of this, if you don't mind. I'm going to share some of this with the faculty, okay? So once you import this assignment, I will find a way to share it with the rest of the faculty, because the writing is incredibly strong, okay? And you don't need to be in an English class to do powerful writing. You write in your own way. You write what's important to you, and that's enough.
Yeah.
So it's stunning. Great job.
Thank you.
People are amazing. All right. Anyone else?
I can do it.
Alberto, go for it. Go for it. I'm glad.
So mine, I did differently from everybody else because I didn't separate words, but my words have a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, I broke the 3 words I am from,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went from there to the whole context of a timeline. So let's go like that. I am from, pronoun, verb, place, preposition, country, universe, Portugal, Brazil, person, team, everywhere, state, poverty, respect, acceptance, racism, discrimination, home, street, America, education.
Yeah, and even if it's just a list like that, right? Even each of those words is so strong. Again, I'm not sure if you know the power of your words, but you should. You don't have to take it just from me. I want to make sure that the faculty hear what you are writing and saying, because I think oftentimes we superficially judge each other from the first moment that you see someone on the street, right? We assess the gender, we assess the age, we assess the color of the skin, we assess in 2 split seconds, and then we have a perception of who each other is. And then we never really get to know the deeper levels of each other, which is a shame, because it's not, interacting on that superficial level will always cause problems. Yeah, these are fantastic. Great job, guys. So we, just because of time, we're going to move on, but please import these into the next. So I am from is going to be something that you just drop into your coursework, and we will move from there. It's not up yet, but it will be after this phone call. All right. So take your writings of I am from and go ahead and drop them in. Michelle, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I know you're just jumping in, but yeah, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. So we just did an assignment of I am from. When you think about those 3 words, can you give us a quick description of where, I know you haven't had the chance to write them down in over 7 minutes, which is what the assignment was, but do you want to give us a little glimpse of where you're from?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm from Dorchester, Massachusetts. I've lived here my whole life. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Tell me about taking art and art history and what your expectation is maybe of this class.
My expectations are pretty high. Like, I like doodling and stuff, but I don't necessarily know how to quote unquote draw. So that's why I'm really excited for the class. I've never taken an art class before, so I'm definitely excited for what I'm going to learn.
Perfect. Okay.
I already like the pieces that I've seen, so yeah, I'm interested in what else I'm going to learn.
Yeah, I think that doing the art history alongside your own development is really important. I want you to know why artwork that you saw in the past, why is it that art still is relevant to us 10,000 years into the future? Why is it relevant 40,000 years into the future? If you were to have a message 40,000 years from now, what would you say? What kind of mark would you make? And the I am from writings, right? Those are power statements. They talk about everything. They talk about our culture. They talk about our history. They talk about our lineage. It's really incredible, right? So put those I am froms somewhere near you. Don't lose it. If you need to, photograph it with your phone right now so that you have it. We're going to move on to the assignment called Identify Slide. And what that is I'll show you right now. I'll demonstrate. It's a slide that you choose that has relevance to you, okay? You're going to choose the artwork from a website called Art21. It's 21st Century Artists, and there are over 200 artists on that platform. Art21 has been linked to your MyRCC. It's in the resource folder, and you just click on it, and it'll take you to art21.org, all right? So I'm going to share my screen with you right now. And I wanted to talk about one image that a student from the very first class that I was teaching, she came in and had the following image on the screen, right? And she wanted to talk about this art and this artist. So she brought the slide into class and she said, you know, I feel like this every day. This is an artwork by Kara Walker. Kara Walker takes African-American art history and rewrites it, okay? And she takes a silhouette of a profile, which was an art, it was an art form from the colonial times. So the colonials would have their portraits painted. It was right before photography, so they would have artists draw their profiles as a way to commemorate themselves, right? So Walker takes this history and flips it and reveals, and it's part of a longer narrative. It's part of a longer lineage. It wraps around the entire wall, okay? And it is disturbing. So when you look at this image, what do you think, and why do you think that student chose this particular image? What do you see? What's in this image? What is it of? Who is it of? What is happening? What is the action? Anyone want to pipe in?
He's writing on a black person.
Right.
And he's have the carrot to make her go after.
Right, right. So there's a chasing. So usually, right, you dangle a carrot in front of the rabbit. Do you see the little rabbit on the bottom? He's the one that's shooting off the gun.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see the carrot. Wow.
Yeah. It's this dangling of a carrot, and we do this in culture. We dangle carrots. We dangle for ourselves. We have these goals to achieve, right? Part of the goal for being in college is to get the next degree, right? And we're always working towards something. There's always something to reach for or go for. Why is it that we are not sort of happy with what we have, what we are already at the present? Yes, the next stage is coming from it. In the States, it's about, okay, let's have enough money, let's have house, why is it that we go and chase after these things? And then what we'll talk about, obviously, the imagery of who's doing the riding, the jockey's doing the riding, and there's an African American female, right, being ridden. Anyone else see any details in this image that they want to talk about? Or why it's significant that that student brought this image to our attention in class?
It looks like to me that the sign is kind of being lit on fire, I guess. So to me that means it's like kind of directionless. It's like you're kind of just going anywhere to try to find your way.
Right. Does anyone feel this way? That there's always...
I agree.
Me too.
Right. And we need to stop this. It's enough now, right? It's enough to, if you're overworking, it's important to ask your boss for overtime pay. It's important to say, no, I'm not going to, right, work 16 hours a day. I can't, right? First and foremost, you have to care for yourself. You have to care for your own body, especially now, your physical and mental well-being, right? That comes before anything. If you don't do that, there's nothing, right? So this kind of force from the outside, whether it's from the natural sort of the rabbit shooting the gun off, or the man whipping, right? And dangling things in front of our noses, we have to be very, very careful. We have to be careful about what we support, how we support, and understand maybe that it's not always the outside carrot that's dangled, that maybe there's something else you need to tend to that is not outside of yourself, that is not just the money that, you know, we obviously need it because that's the culture that we are in. We're in the exchange of the capital system. So obviously you need shelter, you need money for food and all that. But after that, then there's a choice. How do you want to spend your time, right? We understand, or now we need to understand, that time on this planet is incredibly short, right? It's a moment in time that we have. And what are we doing in that lifetime, right? What is it that we're living for? Just be mindful and think about that for a while, especially now that we have been giving a little bit of time. If you're working from home and have a little bit of time, take breaks. Sit down and think about how you want to live and if this is the kind of situation that you want to keep going in and why. Okay. I thought it was an incredible piece to bring to our attention. I think it's a Kara Walker herself, her artwork is exceptional. It flips history on its head, right? The bottom right-hand corner depicts the silhouette style images of the colonial artworks. What she does is she rewrites history, right? From the African American perspective in relation to the colonial times. It's utterly disturbing. It's almost, I mean, there's elements of cartoon, but at the same time, you're looking at incredibly graphic and violent scenes. So if you are interested in her work, she's definitely someone I would recommend doing research further on. There's 200 other artists, like I said, on the platform. So if we go to art21.org, you are going to look up, and again, this link is in my RCC, you're going to look up artists, okay? You will see over 200 artists depicted on the website. If we scroll down, and they're in alphabetical order. I would suggest clicking on a few of them, reading, there's a paragraph that tells you where the artist is from and what they are doing. And then there's a 5-minute video to watch. If you enjoy the work from reading the paragraph, then go ahead and watch the video. But I want you to find someone that you really connect with, okay? And disregard the art that you know, there's plenty of art that you may not connect with. Don't choose one that you don't care about, okay? Here's a couple of other student examples of artists that from last semester. So this is a fantastic artist that someone brought to our attention from last class, El Anatsui. All right. He's from Ghana, and what he does is he takes trash and repurposes it. But he not only does that, he takes a whole people. He has a whole factory that take, for example, the metal tops of bottle tops and reworks them and recreates them into the most magical sculptures. So he's a fantastic artist to look up. And here's another one. There's an artist who takes our everyday consumer brands. This is Melanie Rodriguez. She takes the logos of those brands and flips them on its head. So Del Monte, the tomato cans, she talks about how they have pure murder, that there's either capitalist sort of game. The other one is Hershey's, the history of chocolate, meaning that there's usually that children were slaves, were picking the cocoa beans. So she writes, or she changes the logo of it. She writes, an evil power which roams the earth, crippling the bodies of men and women, and luring the nations to destroy by visions of unearned wealth and the opportunity to enslave and exploit labor. So even though it's a normal brand that we know, right, and we love or whatever, right, it's chocolate, the hidden power, the hidden meaning behind this product, right? Wherever we spend our dollars, it's the company that is going to be supported. And if that company is not ethical, it's something that we have the power to change. We stop buying that product. So this is the Toblerone bar, and then her hidden message is to rebel. So again, I'm gonna just stop sharing right now. Look up artwork and find one that is particularly unique to you, that inspires you. All the artists that inspire you have something to say and have a relationship with you in terms of aesthetic or in terms of what they say, right? That has meaning to you. So that, and for this assignment, the identify slide assignment, it could be, you could do 4 slides in PowerPoint. Does anyone need to have an instructional on how to create a PowerPoint? And I might do that separately for those folks that haven't made PowerPoints before. Basically, you can put it even in a Word document. You save the images from anything that you find interesting from the artwork. There should be images online. So if you look up the artist, look up their images, you can save those images and drop them into a Word document or a PowerPoint document, and then write your notes. There's specific questions about identify slides, so you just go ahead and read the questions first so that you answer those questions in your PowerPoint presentation. This will not be due until Tuesday of next week, and I would love for people to share those identify slide assignments. So again, you're gonna, on Wednesday, you would come in and you would present your work, especially since we are on an online platform. It's so hard to have an interactive space. So having you guys teach each other about the artwork that is relevant to you is really critical, okay? So if you can participate on the phone call Wednesday or Friday of next week, that would be great. Are there any questions? Okay, so that's enough for now. Yeah, go ahead.
How long is this, the slides, is the slideshow? How many
So,
slides are you looking
Jamar,
for?
that's a good question. You can do anything between 5 and 10 minutes. So the PowerPoints that were turned in last semester were really in-depth and researched. I don't need to know if the artist has their degree or their awards from, I'm more interested in the artwork and why it speaks to you, okay? But some of the presentations were 15 slides long, which is a little much. I would choose to have about 5 slides, 5 good slides. You can put the image on the slide, and you can also write the answer on the slide so that you can read it out loud when you're presenting yours, okay? And you can share your screen with us, or if you drop it into the assignment before next Wednesday, I can share my screen. I can share the PowerPoint, and you just tell us about the artist and why you chose them. Okay. So the conversation, your part of it would be about 5 minutes.
Okay, and it's just basically about how the artist connects with us, how we feel about the art, and what we find important about it.
Right, so first it's identify the slide. So you want to mention who the artist is, when they made the artwork, what culture the artwork comes from, and what time period it comes from. And then you can you can give us a background as to why you find their work significant. Why is it important for us to see it? And what does it say, and why did you choose that image? Okay. All good questions. And it's written out and spelled out. So if we go to, I'll share my screen one more time. If you go to our class, if you go to coursework, I'm not sure if it's in there yet, but it's in the overview in our first. I will spell it out. I will spell out the questions so that you know exactly where you're getting your points from. By the way, on each of the assignments, I will let you know how I'm grading it. Okay, so in the first one, I believe and I hope that the percentage is clear so that you know if you answer those questions, you get those points. Okay, I don't want, and the same thing for your drawing. It's not, the grading is not arbitrary. I base it on a rubric. So that rubric will be should be clear. So in Reflect and Draw, the assignment that you just turned in. Let's see if I can. It should describe the assignment and exactly where you are getting your points from, right? So 50% comes from when you put your answers from the slideshow into the discussion forum, and 50% is if you do the drawing. So that's where you get your grades from. It's pretty clear cut. If you do any kind of doodle, any kind of drawing, and drop that in, you'll get 50% of the grade. Once you get your answers in, I don't judge you on the technique, especially those of you who are worried about that you don't know how to draw. You don't have to worry. It's not about the technique. I'm not grading you on technique. I'm going to be, in fact, teaching you the technique. I don't expect you to know it. And you are to just complete to the best of your ability with whatever tools you have, okay? So it's never going to be a judgment of, oh, that looks realistic, and it's, no, so it's actually not about that at all, okay? It's just to give me, for the first drawing, it's about giving me an idea of where you are in your art practice and where we can move from there, okay? So for the next two assignments, I will drop in the criteria so you're answering the questions properly. Any other thoughts and any other questions before I leave you for your weekend? And again, next week, we're going to make sure that you schedule in some break time. It's the weekend, right? So you want to take some time for yourself. Anyone have some good plans?
I plan to sleep.
Plan to sleep?
Yeah.
That's a good plan. I think, yeah, and for some reason, my students in the past have been crazy about their sleep cycles. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep, right? And so sleep and food are like the two criteria that your body needs. Make sure you get enough of both, all right? And if you have a sleep schedule that's a little bit, you know, going to sleep too late, or you're not being able to wake up and things like that, or not being able to sleep, make sure you kind of regulate your system. Make sure that you eat, you know, properly at the proper times. If you can't go to sleep, don't eat too late, things like that. All right? Take care of yourselves, number one.
Hello, Professor.
All right? All right. And that's it for today, guys.
Hi, Professor.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hello, Professor.
On Monday, there'll be a reading from Art for Everyone.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Are we meeting on Monday?
Questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Jamar?
Are we meeting on Monday?
I will be meeting like this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of each week for the rest of the course, okay? So if you can make it, I would love for you to be here. If you can't make it, that's fine. This is asynchronous learning, so you don't have to be on these phone calls. They are always recorded, and I will send you the videos of these phone calls.
Okay.
Okay? Next Wednesday, though, or Friday would be great, because we want to hear your presentation.
For sure.
Awesome.
Oh, Professor.
All right, Mary, how you doing?
Yes, I need a quick question
Good.
from you.
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, about the new slide we're going to do.
Yes?
Are you going to send us a slide that we're going to use, or we use our initiative to have our own slide?
So you can, a PowerPoint presentation, you can download PowerPoint. I think it's a Word, it can even be a Word document. So if you have Office
I know.
365, do you have Office 365?
I know how to download PowerPoint, but I'm talking about the image, the artwork. Are we going to use? Are we going to use our own directive, or you are going to choose for us?
You're going to choose the artist that you want to represent. So you were going to go to the website Art21, and then, for example, if you chose Kara Walker, right, the one that we saw today, you can look up on Google. You can look up Kara Walker, and then you see a list and images. So let me share and let me do it with you right now, because that might be a question for everybody, actually.
Okay.
If you go to, so you find somebody, let's look at the list of artists. Say you choose Ernesto Neto, okay? So you choose his work, you got his name, you watch the video, and you look at some of the artwork that you found interesting. And then you look up Ernesto Neto by name, and then look up, there's an image link.
Okay.
And that will show you all the artwork that he has made, right? Like this crocheted, these beautiful crocheted pieces. And you take that image. When you click on the image, on the right-hand side, it says you can save link as or save image as. You want to hit the save image as, and then you save it on your desktop anywhere. And then you take that image and drop it into your file, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What I could also do is I could email you a template of a PowerPoint, and you can insert your own images into it and use. Maybe that would be a good idea. So that
that would be a good idea. Thank you.
No problem. Any other thoughts and questions for those of you who are on? Excited to draw and paint? Mary, are you excited to draw and paint?
Okay, let's wait and see. So this, we should email you. We should.
I'm going to post that on in the coursework at MyRCC. So I would drop it directly into that file.
Okay, okay.
Okay, but I would photograph it right now so that you.
We should upload. We should upload it there.
Yeah, you should upload the JPEG of that. Or so if you take a photograph of your I am from with your phone, then you can just drop it into the upload for in my courses.
Okay, do it now so that I could do it. I'm saying okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, as always. Take care.
Bye bye.
Have a good one.
Yeah, bye bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Any other questions? Demand, how are you doing? If you're on the phone call, just unlock your I haven't heard this yet.
I'm all right.
You're right. How's it going? What's going on with you? How's the classes?
Okay.
Yeah? Are you taking any other class besides the art history?
Just this one.
Okay. Oh, good. And how are you doing with the pace of it? Have you been able to import your assignment for the last, for this last one that we had?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And do you have any questions for me?
At the moment, I don't.
All right. How is the I am from?
It's all right.
Yeah? Do you want to read it? Sounds good. All right. Well, if you do have any questions, feel free to email me over the weekend or what, and just let me know if there's any issues that you have. For those of you who haven't done PowerPoints, I'll try to put a blank one into my RCC in the resource section so that you just drop in your images. Okay?
Wait a minute. I do actually have one question.
Okay.
How do you want the PowerPoints to look like? Do you want me to do an explanation of for each slide of what the art is, or?
So the initial slide could be something like the name of the artist, what date, what's if there's the name for the artwork, the date of the artwork, and where it comes from, right? So if it comes from different parts of the world, that's important to know. And then the second slide might be the image that you feel strongly about. So maybe it's the artwork that you really are connected to. So I would put those two things first, is the strong image and identifying who the artwork and what the artwork is. And then you can talk about, I will have specific questions written out, so make sure you just answer those in somewhere in your PowerPoint, and you're done.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Any other thoughts? Any other, Demand, what are you doing at school? What are you going for at RCC? What degree are you getting?
Well, right now I'm going for, what's it?
Associates?
Visual arts.
Okay, all right. And what do you want to do?
Well, what I really want to do is like create games and stuff.
Oh yeah, like video games?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds really important right now, because that's what we are. The digital platform is the only one we can use, so that's awesome. Have you researched companies that do gaming?
Huh?
Okay, so
Wait a minute, what?
have you researched companies that do gaming that you're interested in?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Respawn Entertainment and CD Projekt Red.
Nice. Okay, are they both based in Boston, or are they based somewhere else?
Well, I know CD Projekt Red is in Europe, and for Respawn, I'm not sure.
But with online, you probably can do the work from anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is really great right now, because having a job that can be online is kind of important, well, especially in the pandemic. But that sounds great. So do you have any, with gaming, do you have any drawing background or a digital drawing background?
When I was younger, I used to like take art classes in like middle school, because they have like curriculars and we like do like either art gym or music, and I usually take art. But after middle school, well, it's basically been a while since I practiced drawing, so it sort of just fell off for me like after middle school, because in high school there weren't really any like art classes or anything like that, so
yeah. No, that's yeah, and most people actually stop in middle school, because that's when someone decides in class that they're the artist, and the rest of the people are say that they're not, and whatever. So we make these judgments once we're in teenage years about who the artist is, and either identify with that person or not. So no, I think we're definitely going to pick up the pencil, and we're going to be, I'll show you some techniques that hopefully will help, especially in your going into the industry that you want to go to. And there's a lot of online digital platforms to draw in. Do you have some of those? Okay, all right. So I'll do a little research about some free online drawing stuff, okay?
All right.
Okay. All right, and if you have any questions, email me, feel free, okay?
Okay.
All right, take care. Karine, anyone else before we run out of time? Grace and Karine, are you either one of you have any questions for me?
Oh, thank you.
Okay. If you do, please feel free to email me if there's any concerns or anything about timing and getting your assignments done. Feel free to email me, especially if you have. Karine, tell me a little bit about you and where you're coming from.
I'm from Cape Verde. I've been living here for 10 years now.
Long time. At home is still somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard now not to be able to go back, but it'll ease up. But and what degree are you studying, and why are you taking art history?
Social science.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it to fulfill the degree?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
I like art.
Okay, good. I think it's one of those things that we do because it makes us just feel good. We moving. It's and it can be in any way. It could be in dancing. It could be in music. It can be in the way that you bake. It could be in. What do you enjoy doing?
Cooking.
Cooking. It's another art form. Great. It's fantastic. Okay. All right, I will put in the I am from, and we will move from here. Okay, guys?
All right. Thank
All right,
you.
take care. Have a good day.
You too.
Grace, any questions for me?
No.
Okay. Thank you for coming and hopping on the call, and have a wonderful weekend.
And you too. Bye.
Bye.